We'll cover an overview of how invoicing works in DoTimely. The first thing to remember is that in order to create an invoice, the appointments need to be scheduled and on the calendar. Once there are appointments available on the calendar, they can be invoiced either after they have been completed or before completion if you are doing prepay. So the invoicing section can be accessed from the left-hand menu bar by clicking on the invoice. The first page is overview, which gives you some quick metrics on the invoicing section of your business. The first number over here shows the amount of invoices that you have created and the payments are due from customer. It shows the amount as well as the count of invoices that are due. The next one shows if you have invoices in draft status and the amount for the invoices in draft status. The unbilled shows invoices that have been completed but not yet billed for the clients. And then the amount that has been invoiced this month versus previous month. If there has been overpayments or clients credit in the system, that are also shown over here. So for instance, if you wanted to see what invoices are, what appointments have been unbilled, you can just click on this number over here and it will take you to the unbilled report, and this shows the total amount by each client, what the amount of unbilled is. And if you want to see the details, you just toggle this and you can see the details for a particular client. So let's see, if I want to filter for one particular client, I could do that. All right, so going back to the invoice screen, there are two ways to create invoices. One is the bulk operations, which will allow you to create invoices for your entire company, and the other is generating a single invoice for one particular client. Bulk is quick, easy. If you're doing standard invoices for most people, let's say, at a regular interval, weekly, monthly, and a single invoice makes more sense if you need to do a lot of edits and it gives you a lot more flexibility. Let's get started with a single invoice. So under invoices, you would click on generate single invoice and then select a name of the customer or type the name of the pet, the date range for which you want to create the invoice for. So I selected September 1st to September 16. I click on search and it will provide me a list of all the invoices within that, all the appointments within that date range. So we have 16 entries over here, and now I have complete flexibility over if I want to just select everything within that range. I just click this toggle over here, everything gets selected. It shows me the total for that invoice, and if I want to invoice only for one few particular items, I can just click over here and individually select them. And in case there were some edits that needed to be made for any reason, and you wanted to edit pricing for certain appointments, you could do that as well. So let's say I wanted to edit this one, I could just go click on edit over here, and earlier the price was 25, I'm going to make it 10. Click on update, and as you see, the price for this September appointment has been updated to 10. This shows the appointment has been in completed status. If I want, I could delete an entry as well by clicking on the delete icon over here. And if you wanted to add some custom line items for some, say I need to give client a discount, or there was a service that wasn't captured on the calendar, like an additional add-on for an extra pet, those things I could do by adding a custom line item. Let's go ahead and add a custom line item for September 4th appointment over here. So we just go click add custom line item. I can select any type of service. Let's just select 1 hour extended play, and it's going to be charging $5 on September 4th. And I can select, do I want to give discount or an extra surcharge? So if, for instance, if say it was a 30-minute appointment and I had to cut short and I wanted to give a discount, I could do that over here. And in this case, it's going to be an additional surcharge, so I select extra. If I want, I can enter any note. It's optional. And then just click on add custom field. And when the screen refreshes, you'll see this custom line item for extra pet has been added over here. So let's go ahead, just select all. within the date range that we have selected, and we have an option to create an invoice or save an invoice as draft. If I select create an invoice, a finalized version of the invoice will be created, and an email will be sent to the customers that this is the invoice. If I want to come back to it, I can save it as a draft for now. So its amount is 380, so I select save invoice as draft for Sally Harris. Now if I go back to my overview page, you can see we just added this draft, and it's showing the total amount. So that's it. That's what it takes to create a single invoice for a particular customer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bulk creation of invoice next. And before, bulk operations allow you to create invoices as well as manage other bulk operations for related to invoicing. So this is great fit if you want to create invoices for all your clients within a few clicks. You can get done using the bulk operations. So in order to create invoices, you will click on generate invoices, and this will take you to the flow of creating invoices. If you have created invoices earlier in draft and you wanted to finalize all of them within one click, you would click on finalize all draft invoices. And if they're open invoices with due payments, and you'll click on this button, process payment. And as long as the client have a credit card on file, the system will attempt to charge the credit card for the amount due. And if there are unpaid invoices, you want to send a reminder to all the clients, you can click on this to bulk send reminders to all the clients. And then finally, the option to delete draft invoices. If there was error creating an invoice, you can just one click delete all the draft invoices. So let's get started with generate invoices. So you select generate invoice. The first step is to select the date range. So in our case, I'm going to select September 1st to end of September. And the next section, you have three options over here. Let's say you are doing prepaid invoicing. You will select invoice the incomplete appointments that are already scheduled but not yet marked complete. And in case you only wanted to invoice for appointments that have been completed, you would select the option to skip the incomplete appointments that are still on assigned status and only invoice the completed ones. And the third option is, let's say for some reason you knew that there were some appointments that were not tracked and marked completed, but all the historical appointments need to be invoiced. You will select the option to invoice the incomplete appointments as well as mark them completed once you invoice them. So for our case, let's select to invoice only the completed appointments. So I select that option number 1, and then it will ask me if I want to send create them in draft status, finalize, and if I want to send an email to the customers or not. So select draft status over here, click on next, and that's it. Kind of gives me a summary of what I want to do. I want to create draft invoices from September 1st to September 30 and skip the incomplete appointments. Only completed appointments will be invoiced. That's it. You're done. And the bulk invoice request is sent. And depending on the size of your company, it might be done in a few seconds to a couple of minutes to create invoices for all your organization. Now, in order to view the invoices that have been created or search a particular invoices, you will go to the search invoice screen. And one option is to either just select by status. If I want to see all the invoices that are due for my company, I select due, can leave every other field blank, and search for that. And this gives me a list of all the invoices that are due, and it shows the invoice that were created by the most recently created first. And if I want to sort in any different way, I could do that as well. And if I wanted to record a payment for an invoice, let's say for this invoice, or view the details of it, I can click view, and it shows the details of the invoice, the date, the description, who the staff was, and the appointment, any totals, and it also shows me the payment history that 500 has been applied and the balance remaining is 105. So if I had to record another payment, I will click on these three ellipses over here, click on record payment, enter the amount. Let's say the whole balance has been paid off. I can select a different payment method. If I select Stripe, as long as you're signed up for Stripe credit card processing, it will see if the customer has that credit card on file, and if it does, charge the customer's credit card. In this example, let's say the customer paid us cash, and if I want, I can add a note over here. And click on add payment. So it was appointment number 80. So if I go and select for this particular customer's appointment that have been paid, this was the appointment number 80. Now it is showing that it is in paid status. So that's it for invoicing. You can search for a particular customer just by status or for a given date range. And if you want to do more with the data, you have the option to export this data as well. Once a payment has been recorded, what you can do is also delete the payments that are attached to it. So let's say if I wanted to do this, and I can delete a payment and it will set the status back to unpaid. Now keep in mind that if you had charged a credit card or charged credit card and offline not linked to it, that refund would need to be done separately for the customer. All right, and let's cover the final section of customer credits. So customer credits can be ordered if for any reason that, let's say you have a referral discount or customer made an overpayment, that will show up as credit. And what happens to credit is when an invoice is created, they're automatically applied to the invoice. So let's say I want to add a referral discount for Sally. Go over here, add the amount, $50. And this was a customer credit. And it shows up over here, and whenever I create an invoice next, it will get applied to that invoice. Or if I wanted to use this thing for an invoice which is already in outstanding status, I could do that. Just search for due invoices. And select any particular invoice. Click on record payment. And it shows me the credit balance is $50. And if I want, I can just click on use credit button over here, and it will get assigned to this particular invoice. So I do that. And for Sally Harris. We see that the $50 payment has been recorded for that customer, and the remaining balance due has been updated. So that's it for the invoicing section. And if you have any questions, please contact us at support@dotimely.com, and we can answer your questions.